Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia. I'm Wyatt, and this is the day 4 SITREP, which is what happened yesterday. And the Ukrainian time now is 6:56 a.m. So early morning in Ukraine. It is in the afternoon now for me in Singapore, and so just want to go through what happened yesterday, which is this does not include any of the midnight battles, after the 27th. So because I went to sleep, so this updates is only go up to maybe 10 hours ago, so I might miss some of those night battles that might happen overnight. So just want to just let you know, just to keep you in mind that this may not be the latest so because this will be like 10 hours late. So as of yesterday, the which was covered in yesterday's video, was that Mykolaiv was attacked in the midnight attack the night before, and Mykolaiv actually repelled the attack. So Mykolaiv is this city. This city is very important because it is a hub. You can see all the lines going out from it. Looks like Rome. It goes all the way to Odessa, which is one of the major targets. Many analysts have believed that what Russia want to do is to take Odessa, a major port city, and you can see that this is the southernmost important port city left in Ukraine, and then this is already the border, and then we have as of yesterday, the day before, the Russian troops had already arrived here, but the entire of yesterday, there is no reports of any attack on Enerhoda, which hosts, if I'm not wrong, the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, or is it in Ukraine? And then there's no attack here. The Ukrainian troops will be defending this place, and there's also no action at Vasilivka, which is kind of also weird because there was some chatter about how both sides are preparing to their armor against each other. This is not exactly a very big town, but no action here as well. The entire frontier was quiet. Another weird thing that happened was that remember this tentacle that I mentioned. This entire what I call the Tomak detachment, which went through Tomak, was spotted in Chernyhivska, and there was no more news of where it went. So they drove past here, but I have been searching around all these towns, and I don't seem to find where are they. I have no idea where they went, because if you follow the road, they should be here, or they should pass through here, or pass through here, but I can't find any information that there's any spotting of Russian troops in or around this area. And even in a slightly more major town or small city, Bilmark, all this, there was nothing. Similarly, we have the day before also, where the Russian troops surrounded Berdyansk. They took the airfield here, and then so they have some troops surrounding here, and then the rest of the convoy continue off towards Mariupol. But similarly, that the troops would never reach Manhush, and there's also not spotted around any of this town by the sea, which is extremely weird as well. So but of course, this is the limitation when we come to open source intelligence. So whatever we can get on Twitter, on news media, there isn't anything. So the entire tentacle is just like left it there. There's totally nothing changed as per the day before. However, towards the end of my day, there was this news that Russian amphibious assault of 2,000 Marines. They say that they land around here, and then they say they'll move east towards Mariupol, and they said, and one of the news article or news report mentioned that they have already traveled 25 miles or kilometers towards the east, towards Mariupol, but I have no idea where they landed. Because no sighting, no post about it. It's kind of weird. So, but some tidbits in history, the Soviet forces actually landed here, Melekny, during World War II, to liberate Mariupol from the Nazis. So some tidbits. So which means that this is a possible amphibious landing site, because Soviet Union done it before against Nazi Germany in World War II. So might be here. No idea. So Mariupol is defended by what they call right wing extremists or neo Nazis, or they call it the Azov Battalion or something. So the people here the defenders here are supposedly quite hardcore. Are fanatics, supposedly, because this is just what I read, at least from pro-Russian propaganda. No idea, but they are holding pretty well. Then we have some news. I think I'm not. Can I remember? Let me check the map. Yeah, there was confirmation of the Russian taking Hunustov. Hunustov. So which means the troops are actually getting closer and closer towards Mariupol. No change to this cutting of the communications between Kupyansk and Mariupol. Let's see what else. There's confirmation of taking of Andrivka. So that's why the map kind of like slightly differ a bit. Let me see. So the one of the most significant was this 40 kilometer, 50 kilometer advancement yesterday, where multiple towns and villages was taken. There's confirmation of like the fall of Shestia. Shestia was previously defended by the Ukrainian forces, but they have been routed, and then they have all ran into Severodonetsk and Slivsychansk. I'm trying to learn how to pronounce in some Russian way, and a Ukrainian way. And then there was also confirmation that they have took these two towns, Novokaika and Smolyansk Snovi. Oh, this is so difficult to pronounce. And also there's also an announced a tweet saying that the Shuhaika has fell as well. So which you can see that as opposed to yesterday's position, this is a huge chunk of land taken by the Russian and so-called LPR forces. LPR is the Lugansk People's Republic. So supposedly Lugansk People's Republic have their own army as well, supposedly, which are probably the people, the volunteers and the militias that have been fighting the Ukrainians for most of the last 8 years. So for within the Russians narrative, this push is by the Lugansk army, supported by Russians. But for easy way of understanding what the hell is happening, I'm just gonna call them Russians. So we can see that they have taken the southern approach to the Starobilt, which is one of the position held by the Ukrainians. No news as to these two locations. There's totally no chatters, nothing. And so maybe there's going to be a pincer movement possible. And then we have one of the big stories yesterday was how was the Kupyansk falling to the Russians. What happened was that Kupyansk is a rather decent sized city. It was undefended by the Ukrainian forces. So what happened was that the mayor actually negotiated with the Russian troops, I believe, that came to the town. Maybe just outside the town, they negotiated to allow the Russian forces to go through the town unharassed. And so the Russian forces also did not attack anyone, and then they had the police escorting these Russian troops through the city. I'm not sure if the Russians left anyone within the city to hold the city, or to at least put some flags. But this was, I believe, made by the Kupyansk mayor to ensure that no one in his city died for nothing. And this is just outside Lugansk Oblast, just outside. So they should be rather Russian speaking. So maybe they have some sympathy to the Russians, maybe, perhaps. That's why that there's not a lot of resistance of by the civilians, because the civilians are encouraged to fight against the Russians. So then after that, so again, just like what happened at the Tentacles, after the convoy went past Kupyansk, there is no more news where they went. I have been searching around all these towns and major cities. There's no news of fighting or anything, so no idea where they went. There was one tweet that mentioned that they are heading towards Izium. But I cannot verify this information, so I did not want to draw this border all the way here, because I think that would be misleading. So I just gonna leave it there, leave it as is, and until I get further information. But for my assessment, if you look at this, there's two ways the Russians can do this. They can actually go south and take Sloviansk, and then so they can have this massive encirclement to cut off all the hardcore troops that is fighting in Lugansk and in the north of Donetsk, or they can go straight towards Severodonetsk and Luhansk, how should I pronounce this? Lysychansk, and do a major encirclement to surround these two major cities. I call them a twin city because actually it's two cities divided by a river, so it's like a twin city. And I believe the more likely scenario might be them coming here and do this massive encirclement to so-called liberate Lugansk or Luhansk, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I think the Russians pronounce it as Lugansk, and then the Ukrainian pronounce it at Luhansk. Whatever it is, there's no much other actions over here. Dnipro and Zaporizhzhia, these two cities, they are preparing for war. They are teaching people to prepare how to do Molotov cocktail and stuff. Nothing significant there. Of course, almost every major city is hit by rocket fires and missiles and artillery or maybe airstrikes. So because it's so common and it's a daily affair, there's no point putting it on the map. Because other than, yes, it does damage things, it does kill people, but it had not a lot of strategic value to talk about it. So coming to there is the major move at the Kharkiv front. Otherwise, Kharkiv still holds. This entire area I did not update because there's totally no news. The Russian troops actually entered Kharkiv, but they did not manage to conquer the city. And because it also wasn't very clear which district they went, no news. I didn't see anything on that, so I just gonna leave it as is. Okitayaka is also unharassed. Sumy Konotop, as well as this another small town or city of Novhorod Sivinsky. They all are still in Ukrainian hand. So is Chernihiv on the Kyiv front. So what the difference was this part, where the Russian troops are actually spotted in Okhaiki. I don't know how to pronounce that. So, and they were also spotted in, I think, can't remember where. So slightly is that they are traveling around this road, trying to get to Kyiv, because I believe that the troops number here might not be significant enough for them to make a major push. That's why they are trying to reinforce. They are trying all sorts of way to reach here. So just like previously, troops was seen in Nizhyn, but then no more news after that. So they might have gone through, they might have not. I've been searching Novin Bikiv multiple times, that there was nothing. There's no chatters about it. So it was unclear if Russians actually went past here. They could have went past here, but this is the most I can update. And Russian troops try to go through Ichnya. But the civilians blocked the roads and with their body, and then the Russian convoy was reportedly turned back because they can't get past the people. The civilians was on the road blocking the roads. So I left it. I kind of highlight this and then show that it's like this. As for the Kiev front is stalemate. There is a river here, so the bridge here seems to be already destroyed, and these bridges were already bombed, and there is a possibility where the Russians actually already take Irpin and Bucha, but I haven't really confirmed this information, but there's a very high chance that actually they have already taken this part, and they are trying to get through to the Kiev city, or Kyiv city, depending on you want the Russian or the Ukrainian pronunciation. So things are still holding up in Kyiv, and of course there continues to be bombed and attacked as usual. So this what was this? I forgot what was this about. So never mind, I'm just gonna leave it this here and I'm gonna delete it later. Yep, so this is the strategic situation, the situation report for yesterday, and it's 7 a.m. in Ukraine now. Hopefully not a lot of people die, and oh yeah, I forgot to update. So there is a report. There was on official announcement that there will be a meeting between Russian and Ukrainian delegation. So the Russian proposed to the Ukrainians to meet in Minsk, but the Ukrainian rejected the location because they say Russian troops and air force and missiles have been flying from Belarus into Ukraine, so they do not want to meet in Belarus. They don't feel that it's a neutral location, so they had a compromise and they decided to meet near to the Pripyat river. Yeah, that's the name of the river, Pripyat river, and then at the Belarus-Ukraine border. So So I believe the location is likely to be here or along this road. I don't know this border, but I don't think this border there's a proper road there. Yeah. So the river is here, and then the closest road that I can actually see, it could be here also. It could be here also, and it could be here. I feel that this look like a possible place. So not too sure because here there's Russian troops crawling over here because this is the Chernobyl area. So not sure how the delegation is going to travel here. Hopefully they will travel safely and not much drama there, and they can actually get some kind of compromise, because I think the Russian advancement isn't going very smoothly. I think the Russians have been expecting much smoother advance and less resistance from the Ukrainians. So, and because of the increasing pressure put on the international community on Russia, perhaps Putin might want to compromise a bit on his demands, and he might also feel that the chances of overthrowing this government and put a puppet regime on it might not be possible, given how the population of Ukraine have reacted. So unlike in Crimea, where the population was actually rather happy to join Russia, when the pro-Russian president was overthrown by the pro-West mob. So Crimea was very happy to join Russia, but in this war, I think a big part of Ukraine actually is very anti-Russia, and they actually love their president a lot. And I think strategically speaking, I think Russia is not going to be able to achieve their strategic objective of a regime change, and Russian may not have enough force and troops and the will to actually hold all the major cities properly, and any guerrilla warfare is going to wreck them. So I think that's why the Russians had been. That's why I always did not call this a proper, a real invasion. It's not a war between Russia and Ukraine in the very normal sense. Russia did not make a declaration of war on Ukraine. They only call it a special operation, and also a liberation of Donetsk and Lugansk. And this, you might think that there's no difference, but actually there's a huge difference, because the actions of the Russian forces will differ with the official terminology. To the rest of the world or to Ukraine is a total, there's a full-fledged invasion of Ukraine. But you have to be mindful that the Russians had avoided shooting at any Ukrainians, and they have civilians, and they had also not tried to to incur serious damage to power supply, communications. So everyone in Ukraine still can use their mobile phones, still have access to internet, they still have power. So in that sense, this is not the common major war that we expect. This is not a normal war. So perhaps this is also the reason why Putin named it a special military operation. If you compare it to 2003 invasion of Iraq by the Americans, they hit the transformers, the electrical transformers, and then they caused a month-long power outage in the country. And this did not happen in Ukraine. The Russians also did not attack or fire at any of the nuclear power plants. So there is a lot of restraint, even given the scale of the conflict. There is a lot of restraint from the Russians. So that's why I see some hope that there is some good or less disastrous conclusion to this conflict, we are probably very close to it, because most of the modern wars did not last very long. So even the Armenia-Azerbaijan war, that did not last very long as well. So we are in day 4 now. Today is day 5. Maybe the war is going to be ending in a few days time. So I think I believe that the gauge to when the war will end will be when the Russians will take the whole of Donetsk Oblast and Luhansk Oblast. So there is still this much land and this much land for the Russians to take, especially Mariupol. I think once the Russians can secure this entire border for these 2 new republics that no one recognizes, I believe the war will end. I think, and the aim to overthrow the president, I don't think that will work. So that's that. So, and just outside of the SITREP, Belarus is going to change their constitution. So you may go to my website, go to Defense Politics Asia, and you can read on this. Belarus to vote on constitutional change. So what it does is that it will allow Belarus to actually host nuclear weapons, because according to their constitution, they are nuclear free. So he want to change that, and he also want to extend his term limit to another 2 terms, which technically makes him a king or a dictator of Belarus. Oh yeah, there's also another change that will allow him to create another assembly that he can become a member of, which means that he can make law on his own, and that's why I say that it makes him a king or a dictator. So that's what's happening in Belarus, and I think this is not a good development, because once the constitutional change, which will likely pass, Russia will be going to put strategic nuclear weapons and tactical nuclear weapons within Belarus, to further punish NATO for their actions. I think this move might be a result of the lack of progress within the Ukrainian war. I mean, these are progress, yes, but they haven't really taken any of the major city except for Melitopol, and even in Kherson, I think they did not really hold it in a satisfactory way. So I think the progress in this war gave a lot of concern to Putin. So this is the SITREP for day 4. Please subscribe, because your subscription will actually support Defense Politics Asia. Our aim now, because the Google ads don't really work very well, so the aim is actually to build the YouTube channel, and hopefully we can get monetized from our content on YouTube, and from there we can actually keep Defense Politics Asia going. I can actually expand the team, or to continue to cover more places, to have more focus, like what we did here for Ukraine, and what I used to do for Myanmar. Myanmar one, I've already kind of cast it aside, because we did not have the resources to keep it going. So please subscribe the YouTube channel, and please share. I think sharing will be one of the best way to help the YouTube channel to reach more people, and then by reaching more people watching, we are more likely to get monetized, and then that will represent an important source of income for Defense Politics Asia to actually expand and do more, to help to bring more clarity to what is happening around the world. Before you go, there's also a new article on the summary of the military aids to Ukraine as of yesterday. So this is a very interesting article, because we have been seeing all the news about this country going to give this much weapon or this much aid to Ukraine, and this is a summary. You can actually read through which country gave what. It's not a very long article, just a list. So I think this is interesting. So please subscribe, please like the video. By liking, you will allow YouTube to know that this is actually a good video, and it's more likely to appear on the front page for some of the people. and more likely to be recommended, and then more people will be able to see this channel. So thank you very much, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow, and I'll see you soon.